Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Live. And today I wanted to talk to you about my reading plans for the month of March. Normally I do a bi-monthly readathon that includes 2 months for the year, but because March is a month-long readathon for the Irish Readathon, as well as the Shop Your Shelves Challenge from Creating & Co. And April is typically the OWLs for the Magical Readathon. I figured this month and next month I would do 2 separate TBRs. So the first readathon really, I guess there's 2 readathons slash challenges that I am participating in this whole month. One is from Creating & Co., which is a planner shop created by Paige, and there is also a book club on Facebook that is always linked down in my description box below if you're ever curious and want to join that. But we do bi-monthly readathons within the group, and on the off months there's usually some other little sort of challenge that brings us all together. And for the whole month of March, it is dedicated to shopping your shelves. So reading the books that you already own and kind of totaling up what you save throughout the month from reading from what you already own instead of buying new books and things like that. So my main goal and my goal for the past last year and this year has been really to reduce my physical TBR, and I'm hoping to reduce it by 50 books this year. So this will help having a month where I dedicate my reading solely to that. And then on top of that, the whole month of March is also the Irish Readathon. This is a readathon that was created by 3 wonderful women who are all Irish booktubers. You've got Aoife over at Fred Weasley Died Laughing, Leanne over at Leanne Rose, and Elaine over at Elaine Howlin. I'll have all 3 of their channels linked down below. But basically, it is a readathon to kind of highlight and focus on reading Irish authors, Irish stories, and things like that. So there are 5 reading prompts for this challenge or this readathon, and I've got 3 books on my shelves that I have already owned that I'm gonna make my main focus. You can either participate in the readathon by reading books that fit the prompts or just reading Irish books in general. So I'm going to go through the prompts really fast. The first one is to read a book with green on the cover. I think this could be any book, but I'm definitely obviously going to pick a book that is Irish as well, just to count more for the readathon. The next prompt is to read an Irish award winner. The third prompt is to read a book with fewer than 150 pages. The fourth prompt is to read an LGBTQ plus book. So this is either a book written by an LGBTQ plus author or a book that has characters that are LGBTQ plus. And the fifth prompt is to read a book released between 2018 and 2020. So the books I have, I've got 2 by Frank Delaney and a collection of poems and stories by W.B. Yeats. So the first book I have is Ireland by Frank Delaney. This one I'm the most interested in. I think it follows, so it's on the evening of 1951, or one evening in 1951. An itinerant storyteller, the last of a fabled breed, arrives unannounced at a house in the Irish countryside. By the winter fireside, he begins to tell the story of this extraordinary land. One of his listeners, a 9-year-old boy, grows so entranced that when the old man leaves, he devotes his life to finding him again. I think this sounds really, really interesting. Just a very cozy sort of read. And I think it'll have a lot of really good stories and things throughout. So this is definitely a top priority for me. I'm not sure if this has won any awards, so I'd have to look into whether any of Frank Delaney's books have won awards, but it does work because it's got green on the cover. It is a rather old book. I've had it since long before 2018. Copyright date is 2004. And I know Frank Delaney is a straight man, so I don't know if this book will work for the LGBTQ plus prompt, and it's definitely over 150 pages. So at least it's green and it's Irish. The next book by Frank Delaney I have is called Shannon, and this one takes place in the summer of 1922. Robert Shannon, a Marine chaplain and a young American hero of the Great War, lands in Ireland. He still suffers from shell shock, and his mentor hopes that a journey Robert has always wanted to make to find his family roots along the banks of the River Shannon will restore his equilibrium and his vocation. So I think this will be an interesting read as well. It also has green on the cover, and definitely more than 150 pages, and this one is copyrighted 2009. So it fits at least one prompt. And then the last, well, I do have a book on Audible. So I guess I'll talk about that before I forget. So I've got A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce that I would like to read as well. That one's about an 8-hour audiobook, so I think that's definitely more than 150 pages. I don't think, unless it's an Irish Award winner, which it might be, I don't think it fits any of these challenges either, but just another Irish author that I'd like to read from. I have read Dubliners by James Joyce before, and I didn't like it so much, but I think that's mostly because it wasn't what I was expecting. So I found the short stories kind of hard to get through just because I was expecting something different. So I definitely want to give him another choice, and I'm going to do that with Portrait of an Artist. And then the last book I have that I physically own is Irish Fairy and Folktales by W.B. Yeats. I got this from Barnes & Noble years ago when it was in their discounted section. And I attempted to read some of it last year for the Irish Readathon, but only made it 14 pages. So I'm just going to pick up where I left off and see how much more I can get. This will probably be an ongoing book that I pick up for future Irish Readathons, just because I can only sit and read short stories for so long. I don't like to read them one after the other just because then they all kind of blend together, and I'd like to kind of be able to separate the stories as best as I can. So I think I think those might be the only Irish books I pick up. I might pick up some more as time allows, but I think my main focus is just going to be mostly for reading books on my TBR. 4 books isn't bad for reading for the Irish Readathon, and then just picking up other books I think will help with March Shop Your Shelves as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this month holds. 2 of my favorite books last year I actually read during the Irish Readathon. One was Trinity by Leon Uris, and the other was The Law of Dreams by Peter Burns, and I enjoyed those books a lot. So definitely looking forward to hopefully finding some new favorites during this round as well. But I would love to know if you plan on participating. If so, are we by chance reading any of the same books? Or if you have any suggestions for books that fit the other reading prompts, please do let me know down in the comments below, and I will chat with you there until my next video. Bye!